Well, at the Mercedes-Benz Arena, the regional finals, it's heating up a bit. It's heating up just a little bit. With a 56-kill game, that's what'll happen. I have no words. I'm speechless. Hello, welcome back to the TES. My name's JakeyLove. I'm joined with Nelson Sung and, of course, Paul Boyer. That was a great game number 2, I'd say. I mean, 56 kills, and Top Esports finally right the wrongs, Nelson, of game number 1, I guess you could say.
I mean,
everyone expected them to win after this early game.
I think after this early game, any NA team would have won the game.
Any team would have won the game.
Like any North American team would have won the
NA
game.
team?
That's a good shout.
There's no way a North American team would throw the lead after they get the Baron.
So IG worse than any NA team. With a lead.
With a lead, yeah.
So we need to make it so IG lose the early game, so they can actually win it.
So they can win it back. I mean, that's been the trend so far. Look, before we do go further down this rabbit hole known as IG and Top Esports, right now we need to take a quick look at the MVP, which was LokeN in that game number 2. Now, the Rakan bottom lane came into fruition for the first time in this series, Soaz.
Yeah, I was wondering why in the last 2 days why people are not playing so much Rakan. Watching this early game, I kind of got the reason.
Yeah.
But for some other factors, they still managed to came back, and then Xayah put up the damage and managed to do very well in teamfight later on.
I know what we're looking for here is kind of that early 2v2 in the bottom lane. It began 2-3 minutes in with the lane presence, these quick trades back and forth, until Invictus Gaming looked clean and kind of short up the 2v2.
Yeah, like I said just now, I think TES has one of the worst bot lanes. But I think
you're really adamant on that, Nelson.
It is true, but I think like Rakan is such a strong duo because most of the time it either has a good matchup or you could just leave your AD alone and you can roam mid and get a strong 3v3. But the Rakan didn't do it this game at all.
No, that's fair. Look, I mean, Chocho was very staple towards the lane. They were getting bullied out early on. LokeN did have a much better game this time around, I think you'll agree, where the Xayah on him looked exceptional. Getting MVP there is great, but how do you kind of break down this game and what moment shifted gears?
I think there was one fight where near the mid lane where Rookie just flashed in after he split the team up. He split TES up and then they got ace after that, and I think that was quite crucial as well.
One moment again, so as to find the game.
It was a big fiasco. Also, in the early part of the game, IG was playing for bot side, and a few times Aatrox just overextended. TheShy misplayed a few times in the early part, and yeah, it was really far behind when it didn't need to be that far behind in my opinion. They still managed to snowball, but I don't know, they misplayed heavily in the mid-game.
We are getting a look at the top side now onto TheShy, where the early pressure, came through from XX and 369.
He didn't even ward after the one wave. Both waves were in the middle of the lane, but still went for the QE and just got punished for it. Lost his TP level 4.
Yeah.
Didn't get a good base out of it because he had only 750 gold, I believe. So it's a really bad base for Aatrox. Usually you want to have your Kilden Gem plus a pot and a pink ward, or base on 1.1 or 1.2, so you can eventually get your CDR and AD damage.
Yeah.
So just really poor early game from TheShy as well.
TheShy got bullied. It's often the response with teams to go up to that top lane, shut down the top laner of Invictus Gaming to exploit and break down that weakness. And I guess what I'm trying to say here is top actually found a response to the bottom lane. Although when you get 5k gold up, you know that JakeyLove and Rookie's going to take over.
I believe Kaisa was 3.5k gold against
at 9 minutes?
6 and 2 or something, JakeyLove was.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
But
I mean, like I said, any NA team would have won the game with that lead. It's impossible to lose.
You're throwing a lot of shade.
At this point, I'm not really sure what to predict for the next games.
Yeah, so let's turn around. I mean, so as you're right, like you're starting to become very, very right. You said 3-1 towards Top Esports, and that's the second game you could kind of be proud of.
But I'm not sure about that. The first game, they're really supposed to win it and manage to follow it.
Yep.
And this game, they're really not supposed to win it.
And they win it.
And they somehow win it. So yeah, it looks like I will just bet on whoever is
Whoever has the
losing
lead,
yeah,
Whoever,
not gonna
like,
win.
hey,
Whoever-
like you just said, whoever has the early game lead
is not gonna win.
is not going to win. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
that's been the case in
that's
both
somehow
games.
the rule of LPL,
Yeah.
honestly.
I think that's a meta right now.
That's pretty
The
true.
meta of the gauntlet.
Also, sometimes the rule of NA. We're going to bring up the draft down here as well. Before we go, oh, hello. We're going to be moving into Game 3 very, very shortly. Gentlemen, I want your opinion on this, on the top esports Nocturne pick, how it facilitates kind of the Zyrakan, and how top esports managed to make this composition work in the end.
I think they're just drafting for a team clan because they have, with the Nocturne out, they can engage really easily with like Rakan and Cannon and the Cannon flank. But I think it was an okay ban pick, and for me, I prefer IG's ban pick even more.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, because I think like right now mid priority is really important, and they have a strong mid jungle and a good like roaming
And
support as
technically,
well.
they did have that. At
Yeah,
one
they
point.
did have that.
They did have
They
that
were-
at one
they were
point.
on cost of ending the game.
Corki still managed to go for a top dive at some point in
Also
the game.
true, yeah.
But yeah, it looks like we're just gonna get more Cannon Aatrox. IG is a big Aatrox team.
Yeah, do you appreciate the Aatrox still here?
I think it's a decent pick. If you go for something else than Talia, I would say that against what TES had, something like Karma could be really good with like 2 frontliners and hyper carry.
Okay.
Like Karma haven't been picked or banned really in those games, and I think it's a very strong pick overall. And it's good with hyper carry. It's good against Cannon as well. So if you can eventually look to flex a Karma, I think it's probably even better. Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because if we rewind back to yesterday, maybe JDG you'd look at as a potential. I mean, Yagal played a lot of Karma. You rewind another day in FPX and RNG, the Karma is very prevalent. Kind of speaks to the identity of teams in the LPL. And also, like, when we talk about mid laners, we go beyond Karma. I look at, like, the LeBlanc ban, the Akali that top esports have to pay homage to, even the Kiana. There seems to be a lot of division between mid laners in this series.
I mean, I think like for this game, Karma would be a good pick as well, you know, because like Karma Rexa is a really strong combo, especially in the early mid.
True.
And Karma is extremely useful against that team
Karma
comp.
Olaf as well. We've
It's
seen
like
quite a lot.
if Nocturne presses R, you could just RE and his IG can just run away.
If we're shifting up the comp with the Karma, because I'll keep that in the back of my mind, what else would you guys like to see from IG top esports? How else can we shift to...
Just the really same team comp with Karma would be really nice for me.
Okay.
Ideally with Karma, as I was saying before, you need to... Ideally, you want to have a beefy frontline and also an hyper carry.
Yeah.
You can play it with either, but this is the ideal comp for Karma. And in this game, for example, they had both. They could have a beefy frontline with... if they decide to put it mid, they could have beefy frontline with Aatrox, Nautilus and Rek'Sai,
Sure.
and also the hyper carry with Kai'Sa. So it depends on how they want to play. I'm not a mid lane expert, but I've played the matchup a few times, and I believe Karma pushes Corki or have mid lane priority. So you can look to pressure to play for both sides if you wish to, or you can just play fully towards bot lane. Look to take those drakes. Look to punish bot lane. I mean, they didn't need to in this game,
Yeah.
but
They did, but yeah.
I mean, there's a lot that happened in this game. My mind flashes back to when you gentlemen remember the flash over from XX preemptively of the Talia, the 2v2 in the mid lane where...
I think it was a risky play. I believe XX thought that they are probably on the top side of the map trying to dive up Cannon.
Yeah.
So that's why he took the risk. And it's just that IG were a bit slow on the play, and we're just like happened to be towards mid rather than top side of the map. So it was a coin flip play, could have been good, and just ended up in him dying, and Corki also actually.
I mean, we got to the point where we got to hyper late game and the TheShy started taking over. That mid lane play really just fell out of the back of my mind because of how different the game became rather. For top esports, it's good to see them moving into the series a little bit as well. I think I appreciated XX in that game on the Nocturne. It became a big issue for IG, but it seems to me in this series so far that JakeyLove is like this sane person sitting and going, you know what, I'll play Kai'Sa, and I'll be the stable rock here for Invictus Gaming, while like Baolan and everyone else is always looking for the engage, and JakeyLove's kind of trailing behind.
Yeah, from the 2 games that we have seen, I think JakeyLove is the best performing player in IG so far.
Yeah.
TheShy haven't been... It did good, it did decent, and usually in teamfight he's gonna do well as well, but he haven't been the key player at least yet. So we will see. They ban Akali in the second rotation.
Yep.
So eventually they will look for something like Akali as a flex and look to put it in the top lane eventually later to see. He had a really good performance on Akali before, so
yeah, true.
we will see.
Nelson, what did you think of Rookie on that game? Because we are still talking solo laners for IG.
I mean, Rookie, he played well, especially in the early part of the game, but he took some unnecessary risks, which made them lose their lead.
Doesn't it come down to the core of what we're really saying here? That TheShy has some moments where he kind of flips out of control and looks good, but that's simply it, and it comes down to positioning and how IG solo laners are actually playing out the game when you break down what they're doing in it. And then you have people like JakeyLove to clean up the mess, I guess. So there's not really confidence from me, especially in Invictus Gaming or top esports. In fact, going into this 3rd game, do any of you want to coin flip? Or is it just too risky to even make that move?
I mean, I think if IG experiment more with the draft and they try to pick the Zyrakan, because I think what they need now is more engage, so that's easier for them to like play to the style they want.
Baolan is, by the way, just on the other side, Baolan is the Rakan player. I mean, that's the Rakan skin. So as quickly before we go, do you want to flip? Do you want to do a Raz?
No, I'll just...
Too early?
I'm not a flip-flopper.
Yeah. That's great. All right, we're going to leave you with those thoughts. Game 3, we're neck and neck here with Invictus Gaming and Top Esports. So we're going to throw back to the casters to take us into this 3rd game.
Thank you very much, Hysterics, and my resident flip-flopper here. You've been called out.
Look, Hysterics have been making some bad calls all split long.
That's true.
Lost the bet and was wearing a fabulous wig, I will say.
It was a fantastic wig as we jump into Game 3 at the scores 1-1. Top Esports have chosen blue side for this game, and we're curious to see now if the adaptation is there, because Tam Kench actually gets banned.
Unusual swap from their side. Top Esports does favor the red a lot of the times, but this blue side draft, if we are following what the Gauntlet has shown us, should be that Kai'Sa first pick.
This is actually a really big ban here, so the Xayah ban makes it easier for the Kai'Sa first pick to come through. I think IG should just end up banning it away. They can go, wait a minute. They can go Lucian or the Draven, knowing that JakeyLove has actually been the better performer, so not going to just go towards the Kai'Sa pick, because JakeyLove has just been good regardless.
Pretty much a lock for any kind of, blue side team. I think if it's not banned, it's getting picked. Kai'Sa locked in there for LokeN.
That's why it's always a confidence kind of jab to see how good is your AD carrier, how well is he playing. Does he want to play with the counter matchup this time around? JakeyLove's counter pick champion pool is far larger in this scenario, so I want to see if they get his pick out here in first phase or wait a little bit more to see what the top esports composition is in second phase.
And honestly, if I'm IG, I'm okay with this bottom lane. I know Kai'Sa is not going to be particularly strong in lane, and I can look to play towards my bottom side as well. So I think they would be okay with it. They just need some strong mid-jungle priority. I think that has been the key for the series, especially in the early game.
And just a reminder, although LokeN picked up MVP of that last game, is that he got thrashed in the laning phase.
Destroyed.
And so picking a weaker bottom lane after the last one is going to be a big risk for them. Let's just see how it pans out.
I think he got the MVP as a kind of, tilt-proof award. I think that was definitely like, you know what, you did it, buddy. You got your items to be able to go there. It's actually going to be the Ezreal response here for the Kai'Sa for JakeyLove in the bot side.
Range advantage. We've seen it with Uzi actually picking into the Kai'Sa matchup and actually performing really well in the individual laning phase. I just want to see what Baolan wants to pair alongside with it. You can go towards the Morgana or the Nautilus, but you have to wait on top esports pick first.
So the question now is what Leyan takes for a jungler, because we've seen him only really perform upwards to the standards that we'd like him from on the Gragas and the Sejuani, and both have been taken away from Shonshon at this point. This is a very strong middle or potentially top lane combo.
We talked about this yesterday on the desk as well. You've got the combination of the Aurelia and the Sejuani. Very, very strong combination in that mid lane. However, Jarvan has yet to be banned. I would maybe see that one, or the Elise, which you talked about in the pregame, Taras.
Yeah, and remember, Aurelia has been flexed between both 369 and Knight pretty religiously. 3 picks during the split for 369, so you can still chuck it up to the top side of the map and give Knight a better matchup. especially going up against the Qiyana, where he loves going in towards his, the pool that he has. Echo has been a pick that he had in third place matchup, so it's going to be fun to see what counter matchup he has going into the second phase.
Yeah, just to give a bit of history on 369 and his Aurelia, he actually never lost on the Aurelia before he faced TheShy in the spring playoffs. So he definitely knows this champion in and out. It's one of his highlight matchups, and we could be seeing a showdown in the top.
We'll see the side of Top Esports just heavily prioritize that top lane or mid lane as you see the Renekton banned away. They want to give the Aurelia as easy a matchup as possible with the Morgana and Nautilus banned away by IG.
Yeah, I want to see what the support picks up are going to be, because IG's making the call, although they need to support themselves, that Morgana and Nautilus will be the bans here. And so Chocho, who hasn't really had much time on the stage, he might go towards a Volibear or a Rakan. Rakan makes a lot more sense here, although it'll be a weaker laning phase. They already have a pretty good front line in the Sejuani that he can double up with.
Now, Chocho has been playing the most Rakan out of the postseason so far, and as we know, he hasn't really transitioned into this support role long whatsoever. Only started this split, so we don't expect the largest pull from him. I do want to see the Rakan locked down.
Yeah, it's going to be locked in there for Top Esports. Like now they have the kind of follow-up engaged, and they talked about it on the desk. Not going to talk about it until it's locked in, but having that extra karma locked in now for Top Esports means that they have a very, very strong team fighting team.
Yeah, composition looks good. The lanes preemptively look good. If it's going to be a karma up top lane, we'll have to see when it all pans out. But IG is going to have a difficulty of being able to really take control of the early game. So let's see what they lock in here for TheShy.
See what they're going to go for. Aatrox has found its way through it as well as the Kennen. That's the third game in a row now we're going to see Kennen. This time, though, it's TheShy who picks up the Yordle in the top side.
Pretty strong skirmishing squad, and also they can work around the Qiyana pretty often. Good team fight with the Kennen, so everything IG has is pretty nice. Just recognize that a lot of this is counter-picking power taken away from IG, where Karma will do well no matter who it goes up against up at top side. And then you look towards the Aurelia pick, they knew they were going to be going up against the Qiyana, so solo lanes are looking strong for top.
I really like Top Esports draft. I think this is their strongest draft of the series so far. You talk about mid-jungle priority. Both of these champions are rather chunky. They're really hard to take down early. So, you know, IG, if they get a 2v2, they don't finish off the target. Sejuani Aurelia can easily turn that. Top lane, 369, one of his strongest champions. And Baolan, I think, is pretty safe as well. Overall, Top Esports, really good team comp.
You say safe, I want to see it. Because JakeyLove has been a monster so far this gauntlet period. And with the matchup that he wanted to have, the range advantage that the Ezreal has, and every single time you look around the world, Ezreal is seen as a safe side pick. But in the hands of JakeyLove and Uzi, some of the best AD carries in the world, they take huge advantage being able to abuse that range. And so I want to see if JakeyLove and Baolan can really have that standout performance here.
Twice now in 2 games in a row, we've seen whichever team in the early game gets ahead, not necessarily the winner of the game. So it's all about shoring up those mistakes, making sure that you're, crossing your T's, dotting your I's, and not giving back the advantage to the other side.
And I will say this, while we talk heavily about how the lanes should work well for top in the top side of the map, that Qiyana is just such an explosive pick that gave Invictus Gaming their first win this series. I want to see if Rookie can do it again.
It's not always about what you can do in the lane, but also what you can do outside of it, and that's what IG are aiming at.
We'll see now what both sides are able to do as we jump onto the Rift for Game 3 of this best of 5. Both Top Esports and IG have picked up a win. Let's see who can take the advantage and be one step away from Worlds qualification. Fans are frantic. They don't even know what to do. They don't even know who they're supporting.
Yeah, they're going to be going on for a while.
I had never seen Knight do that. He just waved the white flag instantly.
Oh,
He's drawing
GG.
it back, though. He's drawing it back.
I wish they enabled emotes like globally. I feel like that would be great.
Yeah, it's definitely fun, no matter what. There are times where AD carry, specifically SMLZ is a good example of it, when he's getting dove. Just sends the Yasuo emote, come and get me!
And for the first series in a very long time, we've finally seen the Rookie that we know and love from 2018.
Yes.
The Rookie that we are so used to, having alongside the Caps, the Fakers of the world. I'm curious to see if he's able to replicate his first game performance into this one.
It wasn't even that long back, too, because the spring split was still exceptional from Rookie. Both Rookie and, JakeyLove had great performances even at MSI. It was only afterwards where drama started to flow in, and, you know, people not having the time on the Rift together. The only ones that I would look at and say weren't performing up to par before Rift Rivals even set in was specifically Ning, actually. This time around, this team really just needs time on the map, and also you can just see rookies developing, getting better as the playoffs, and in this case, the gauntlet is developed.
For me, this early game, a lot hinges on Leyan. We don't see him pick the Elise much whatsoever. It is a pick that you do need to snowball with, and frankly, that has been an area where I find it rather weak. He just doesn't pick up that many first bloods, and I want to see if he is able to extend the early game, if he's able to find the kills.
And just so people, you know, a lot of the new viewers out there who have no idea who Leyan is, coming in from the Invictus Gaming Academy squad, that team had actually been performing incredibly well in the LPL, and a lot of it was based off of their mid jungle. You know, Leyan was seen as an incredibly strong mechanical player who had that Lee Sin, you know, with him. Being brought into the main squad, recognized that he just needed to be that role player. You know, Ning came into the team and had been such a playmaker, and so this team really required stability. He came in and brought them that.
Yeah, I want to reference a tweet by Rusty, as he did said he'll take a B tier consistent jungler over a potential A, potential D, but now Leyan trying to find his first potential move now into top side. Will just get the flash out of TheShy. They're looking for the cocoon. They will land it between the minions, and that's going to be first blood to IG.
Just a good setup overall. You know that Kennan's going to be able to give it to you. Of course, had the flash set up to also just get the stun. Well played. First gank goes over to Leyan.
Now they have priority over the blue buff as well. Will land the cocoon. Does get the repel up as well. Leyan still has his flash if he so chooses to use it, but Rookie with the priority in mid lane means he's able to steal this blue buff pretty much uncontested.
And those are a lot of my questions answered. That was a very clean gank. It was warded from 369, but they still got the rip off, take down, instant flash into it.
Oh! Knock up. The Unbreakable has been used as well. LokeN trying to get some damage down, but overall this bot lane not as active as the last game, but definitely showing signs of life.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to be pushing and they're going to be fine. For me, the focus is going to be topside. I think 369 is going to be in a really tough position because Leyan, Rookie, and TheShy have actually now are working pretty well together to get vision and just pressure on XX on topside. I want to see what Elise ends up doing because it seems like he wants to match the pressure of XX and then just take the resources underneath them.
Right now, top esports. Again, I think after that first, or second game, excuse me, they're not going to feel too much pressure if they fall a little bit behind. You know, they can probably take 8K and still win the game.
That does not sound like a good strategy, but I'll let that stand for the series.
Just for this particular series, I think I saw, you know, a couple of people tweeting about the, you know, kind of like, this is peak LPL, this is what you want to see, and this is probably even the closest that these two have ever come in this, you know, in the season.
Just remember, this is a third seed matchup for a reason. A lot of these teams have the talent for sure, and the only thing that they recognize that they need is kind of that one last evolution in either, for Invictus Gaming, that discipline that they've been always chasing. Even in their world championships, they've always been so talented that they can always continue to move forward and have the confidence that the rest of the team will follow up. For top, it's when they have that advantage, it's the macro they tend to fail off, and putting themselves on the right lane assignment so they can close without having to go into a last convincing team fight. They constantly find themselves at a barrier like that.
I think both teams are great individual players. They are known as trident teams that consistently win all three of their lanes at once. However, the team fight portion is usually when they fail. IG, like you mentioned, going in too soon on particular members, and top esports just not having the best performance in the front line and in terms of the initiation. So this is interesting because both teams are starting off very similar bases and trying to grow in similar directions.
I feel like, you know, IG can be that team that just kind of bait themselves into team fights. They want to fight. That's how they've always played. And in the last game, it was kind of like to their detriment.
Take a look at this. Rookie and Leyan will be able to get a clean dive up here. If XX walks into the bush, he's screwed. And 369, well, he's already dead.
Yeah, he might as well be dead, actually. He's got the minion wave, so right now he's able to keep himself alive just barely. They do, however, have got the ultimate on Kennen. That'll be a pretty clean dive.
Yep, problem is too much CC, too much damage here, especially with the Qiyana. Having the three-man dives, they actually couldn't do that last time around. That's why Rookie ended up finding himself topside. This was yesterday's series that we needed to see Leyan and Rookie on the same page. This time around, it's been perfect from them. Difficult for XX to follow up.
And that was a pretty good way to play the Qiyana. You're noticing that she's leaving lane regardless of the wave situation. She's actually just ditching the CS and saying, you know what? I need to keep TheShy ahead. I need to keep TheShy's head inside the game.
See from the last game as well, TheShy definitely been doing TheShy things, you know, hasn't really missed a beat, maybe a couple of small weird engages, but Leyan using the power, the early game prowess of the Elise to be able to keep getting those advantages, and like you said, you've got Rookie just kind of shadowing the Elise, making sure that they're 100% safe.
This is, you know, one of Leon's best games so far. Well done for him, just so you know he can secure it. XX with the nice ward placement, but at the end of the day, I think Leyan has a really good future ahead of him because, as I mentioned, he's mechanically really strong. We haven't seen it because he recognized his role coming into this team really early. So he's the one that actually made quite a large sacrifice to be able to make the fit work. As we start to see the team get a lot more confident around him, you're going to see a lot more carries for him. Let's see it here, though, because XX is in a pretty bad position.
XX hits hit up. He gets stunned down. That's going to be Rookie picking up that kill. Knight has no mana as he tries to go in on the flawless duet. He will get a 3-man stun, but everybody from IG is here. Double kill for Rookie, and there's just no reply for Top Esports.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
All right, going to flash in, try to get that kill, and not going to be everything there. So 4-0 so far for IG.
It looked like QiuQiu was trying to get an Ignite, which he didn't have down there, and this is just all IG all the time. I really love how much Leyan is commanding the map based on his pick of the Elise. This is something that I didn't really expect coming from him.
Yeah, I'm not going to fall for the ploy that QiuQiu is, you know, making the mistake so it covers for Sejuani's. Because what Sejuani was looking for, you already knew that Rookie had panned to the right side of the map. That vision was already there. You also knew that they were already on Dragon itself. So the information was there. It was the decision flatly just being pulled from the side of Sejuani.
Yeah, they actually thought that they would get the pinch with 369 coming down. Here comes QiuQiu. What?
I saw it. He was going for the kill on towards Rookie. He thought he had the damage for it. But a great block. That was beautiful.
It's a bit of a feels bad man right there, unfortunately, for QiuQiu. And right now, IG, they're going to be sitting pretty. They've got themselves a 2,500 gold lead, 8 minutes into the game. And right now, of all the people, I think that's, you know, having, like you said, having a fantastic game, it's Leyan and this Elise making that early game power work out for the side of IG.
And he's been doing a fantastic job just matching the Sejuani. A lot of the time, Sejuani, if she goes up top side, initially I thought he was going to try and bully the top lane matchup a little bit more, try and look for another dab because he can always de-aggro turret, but he recognized, why am I trading sides within a Sejuani that's already incredibly far behind? So at this state, Sejuani just needs to find a chance to look for that gank through mid, which is what the composition is built off of, but always being caught on wards.
I don't think he's going to have a good chance for that because right now Rookie can leave lane with those 3 kills he's picked up, and he also has a very strong roaming build coming in with it. You see the Youmuu's Ghostblade there already, extra movement speed towards the side lanes.
This reminds me a lot of IG during 2018, where Ning's job was to just kind of mirror match and always have vision on the enemy jungle, so your lanes always thrive based off the picks that you've had. And this time around, TheShy, if you just take a look at the CS margins here for himself, it's huge. Very close to being able to have 20 CS advantage, while 369 has had to always eat that pressure because Leon's getting that advantage over XX.
See now.
Slow goes down.
Get the slow in. He actually jumps in on top of Baolan. They get Rookie. They don't land the Glacial Prison, but they do get the ultimate out of Rookie anyway. 369 did TP into the mid lane, but they're not able to get anything else out of it.
That leaves the top wide open, though. This is going to give TheShy a field day. 2 extra gold platings he's going to be able to take off that failed pincer.
And they look like they're going to try and make something work now on top of this bot side. Baolan going to be stunned up here, trying to trade Glacial for Glacials. We see now Rookie joining in as well. There's a Glacial Fisher coming up to get the knock up as well. Not going to be able to land the True Shot Barrage, and now Leyan's in a little bit of trouble. He's now 2v1ing. It's a bit of a split fight from both sides. 369 taking a lot of damage. They get the stun down. They get the kill. Ignite was used from Knight, and now they're going on top of this. Baolan tried to help out his jungler, but unfortunately ends up trading his life straight over. There's Rookie. Flashes in, gets the flash out of 369, trades a 2 for 1.
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of confusion on the field. XX went in knowing that there's no resources on the side of IG of picking up a fight, but he didn't have lanes coming through for him because bot lane, specifically from LokeN, wasn't freed up to walk towards him. So it was mostly IG thinking because of that, hey, that Sejuani's alone, let's try and get the kill on him. But it made them wide open, knowing that, of course, Rookie wasn't able to get the kill initially.
That's going to end up as a 2 for 1, and IG picking up the gold advantage with the first brick. So I have to give that one over still to IG. The start of the fight was messy, probably a bit unnecessary, but they do come out ahead.
You've now got 4 kills onto the Qiyana as well, so this snowballing roaming assassin should be pretty huge if we are going to see any kind of mid-game fights. There is a shining light, though, for the side of Top Esports, as they are finally coming into the spot lane. LokeN looks like he's able to get that CS advantage.
So the first question to me was what XX was doing to begin with, because he knew that the laners from IG were going to be there first. He didn't have anyone to follow up on the fight that he was looking for. But then the collapse from Top Esports was even more confusing to begin with. So, yeah, there's just a lot of shenanigans here that actually results in a lot from Top Esports before that happens, where now Rookie gets up that kill and gets himself 4 kills. He's doing really well in this game coming back.
Yeah, that play just wasn't worth it for me on Top Esports side. They had the extra man in 369, but only able to pick up an extra kill.
This is the roaming duo of jungle mid you were talking
Wow.
about. They destroy the Sejuani. They get the slicing Maelstrom off, but they are not able to lock anybody else down, and we can see another shift of priority coming in for IG.
I mean, that one was clean. Didn't see the context, but in fact, before we got into the replay, Knight had to go back to base. He didn't have much mana. Rookie had already gotten back to the lane. So they were already in a position where they can clear out the wave, set up for a bot lane dive, and it ends up working out for them.
Well, Rookie and Knight going to try and go toe-to-toe here. It's actually going to be the Rakan gets jumped on, gets ignited as well, but it's a great ultimate there from the Aurelia as they try to just turn this one up, but they have not got the damage. The rest of IG comes in. They clean up Knight.
This is starting to be an overwhelming game here, where Top is trying to find plays, but at this stage, there's just way too much burst coming in from the Qiyana and Elise alone.
Rookie is feeling himself right now. He is hunting for people, but a glacial prison locks him down. Got your hands caught in the cookie jar. He goes down, giving over a big shutdown gold over to Kai'Sa.
Yeah, that's actually huge for Kai'Sa. It's going to speed her up very close to the second item, and we have to remember in the previous fight, we did see JakeyLove zoned away from his own tower. So that second item spike is something that Top Esports can look to fight over.
I just want to see the team be on the same page, honestly, at this stage. When the rest of your squad is going towards bot side focus, specifically the bot lane, outer turret, and the dragon, there's no reason for Qiyana to be in the enemy blue side jungle. What are you hunting for?
Highlights?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
There is no macro in LPL. There are only fights.
But that's the disappointing thing, where you all know that Invictus Gaming can play, or at least specifically Rookie, with how the series has been going for him,
That's
to not take
fair.
those risks.
We have some macro teams, but they just made it in the finals, okay?
I completely agree, and it's just
There we go.
weird moments there, but that's a lot of gold there on the cannon.
Yep.
That's over 1 tower, so he's picking up some from other lanes as he shuffs in to pick them up in mid lane as well.
Remember, a lot of the pressure came up topside from the Elise and Qiyana, so 369 had to leave that. In fact, even one of the plays ended up coming mid lane, so TheShy ended up getting an immense amount of gold off of that. So team fights are going to be pretty good from IG side. Just based off topside alone, they're flourishing. If they end up losing this early game lead,
Oh, please.
look,
You're Raz, don't say it.
we've seen it 2 times in a row. I haven't had to say a damn thing.
I was going to say, I don't even think
These
this
teams
one's
are doing it on their
Raz.
own. I'm upset just based off of it. And we already seen one misplay, and I think it's based off their core shot callers and Rookie to be able to just put them back on the same page. And I think so far, doing a great job back in the mid lane.
See all the turrets being taken down now as the easy objectives. Rift Herald was taken. That's going to be used to buff down this turret as well. As 369 now going to find himself
Got
a
him.
very fed and very hungry Rookie. And it's as easy as that.
100 to 0. That was a 320 burst back onto the terrain, and damn, if Qiyana can do that, how do you even go into your own jungle?
Blue side jungle, you shouldn't even touching it at all. Look at the control wards being placed down by IG. Had no vision. So if you take that, he thought it was the safe path too. He's basically telling you have to go within your own base to defend that mid lane turret that are now being under attack.
Yeah, they're now able to get the pressure down onto this tier 2 as well. We'll respect the fact that XX and QiuQiu are still there. They have got the engage available to them on Top Esports. But we're looking at a 5,000 gold lead in favor of IG at 15 minutes.
This is very reminiscent to how Top Esports fell to IG in their previous playoff run. It was 369 getting camped over and over again and just being irrelevant throughout the rest of the game. I feel like IG have captured some of that old spirit and brought it back.
And also, IG being the spirit that I feel like really is coming back is the relevance of the jungle position. You know, Leyan being on the map, ever present, having eyes on XX, so XX can't even, in a deficit, move back towards just saying, well, I'll gank a Knight here, or I'll go topside, because he's always being watched and the vision is always there. Leyan has done a great job to protect his leads on his specific lanes.
And this is the rookie we know and love. This is the rookie that was feared internationally at MSI. The guy who runs around, and if he finds you, you are dead. Great to see him coming back. And like you said, in the previous series, or in the previous games, he's evolving, he's developing, he's growing the longer this series goes on.
It's great to see, especially up against Knight, MVP of the summer split. Not as if he's going up against some like a mismatch here. He's been able to take on the best, and now with the support that he's had from his own jungler, the lane assignments is even helping him even more. So good position here for Invictus Gaming. This looks like a clean one.
I have to say, I actually really enjoy what Top Esports are doing to wrestle back the vision control on their own side of the map. You see, whenever the lanes are pushed out, they're able to get into their own jungle through the side lanes itself. They're not taking the middle route. They're actually going in from the sides and avoiding the most possible areas that IG will be waiting for them. So they've done a good job at keeping at least around the mid lane safe.
Issue is, while that's great, you know, you're conceding a lot. Conceding your Raptor camp because you're so focused on the top side of the map. You're also just going to conceding a lot of the major objectives. Their Dragon at this state, even though it's a Cloud, is going to be going over to Invictus Gaming. So as this game goes on, IG is certainly going to be more confident, and they're going to be going towards Baron buff. And if you look at the composition, TheShy is not only a wonderful flanker. He's done this time and again. Being on an AP Kennen, it's going to work out so wholesomely for them. So it's on top to play a lot more creatively. I want to see if Chocho can find those picks.
That is a 60 CS lead for Leyan over XX.
Yeah.
That is a lot of camps. You see now Rookie going to find...
Specifically 2 levels too. So.
Yes, that is not a fair 50-50 smite fight if they do find themselves fighting over objectives, but Top Esports do take out the tier 1 in top side. Now it looks to be tier 2 for IG, and Rookie is now hunting. Rookie is looking to see if he can find someone. Pops the Youmu's are active. Now mid lane's going to go down. There's no real defense here for the side of top. As I say that though, IG going to be very, very respectful, not knowing exactly where everyone is on the side of top.
Yeah!
Just as the cannon dies, gets the tower with him.
It's the caster curse.
No, I mean, the cannon is the greatest.
That's kind of the power of just Youmu's, you know. Whenever he sees someone defending their towers, Rookie can count pretty well. 4 people shown on the map. He's instantly going to go and try to chase down the Sejuani. And that play is going to happen over and over again.
All right.
Oh, 369, instant flash away, will be responded with 2 flashes of IG's own. And there's just not a lot he can do about that.
Gets slammed, right? Didn't even need the ultimate. The Kiana is just blasting you at this stage with both lethality items.
There's not really a lot more you can do if you're on the side of 369. There's not much more respect you can give, as we see more and more time and pressure being put onto, you know, top esports as this game goes on.
And it's incredibly annoying to deal with this. Always unable to go mid lane, because this is starting with IG pushing out mid. And then every time a side lane wants to rotate to help out, they're getting isolated. And it's just turning into more and more objectives and gold being thrown into IG's pockets. And at some point, IG is going to have to rotate topside for the Baron. And Top's going to have to traverse that jungle to make it happen.
I just want to remind our viewers that don't switch it off yet, because both of these games, we've seen massive comebacks. Top Esports, last time around, it was 8K down, and now they're only 7. Now, to be fair, this is a very long way to climb, but we've seen it happen before.
Happened in the last 2 games. It is not unheard of, but I feel like the tools and how IG are playing this particular game feels a lot better than the last game.
It feels better, and there's just such a large damage discrepancy. 369 and Knight will take a long time to get to a comfortable spot. Knight can't even go side lane at this stage, so he's super useless, and you're hoping that LokeN can really provide that damage, and he hasn't even, you know, fully stacked up the Muramana yet. So we're at a state of the game where, while it's true, you kind of hold your breath a little bit.
Oh, here we go. They're going to get the exhaust and the ultimate down as well. JakeyLove is going to be safe, though, from a fantastic Glacial Fissure from Baolan to keep him there. However, LokeN will pick up the first kill in this fight as Knight tries to get onto the back line. Here comes Rookie as he jumps in and gets a triple kill. That is a supreme display of talent, and IG turn onto the Baron.
What I loved about that was Rookie, he queued up his abilities for the one-shot. That was taking down 3 people with the same button at once.
That reminded me of Doinby at that one instance when he found that flank. You thought there was an exit strategy, and he just closed the door. It's going to be a Baron buff prime for Invictus Gaming.
No real contest coming in here from Top Esports, and they have been thoroughly outplayed in this Game 3. IG ready and primed to take themselves to be one step away from being able to defend their World Championship title.
Let's take a look at those bounties. 9 kills right now sorted for Rookie. And across the board, they are just pumped with damage. The items are starting to come through. Take a look at Kenneth.
And Rookie's bounty got reset. That's the funny thing. He gave over a kill, I think, out of 5 kills. So he has rebuilt that one there, as IG now with the Baron buff for about 3 minutes will just try push up all of these waves and try and crack open the base of top.
And these are the proper lane assignments that I wanted to see from top in the previous game. You know, you always have Rookie on the off lane. This time around, they have most of their members through mid. You can have Rookie push out the bot side of the map, and then he could be the one rotating in to threaten.
And this should just be a fairly simple starve off and finish from IG. They have all the split pushing threat at this point. The Irelia can't do anything. And I think they should use this window because we see the main initiators of both Chocho and Sejuani without their flashes, at least without their partially of their summoners. They used that last time to try to get a pick onto JakeyLove. It failed, and that opens up a big window to get punished.
Seems like they're just slow paying the Baron that they have here. Both the Qiyana and the Elise had to go back to base. So trying to build off this wave. This will be the one where Top Esports will have to draw the line.
Still early enough in the game that they could potentially turn this one around. However, like you guys talked about, the items are just not there. You're sitting on a lone Triforce for Irelia with a Tiamat. You just got your Ludens and your Athenes and Holy Grail onto your Karma, who is 0 and 6. There is no real item outside of the jungle enchantment for XX. You just don't have the stats to go toe-to-toe with this ginormous, you know, damage-dealing threat on the side of IG.
All right. You get poked or picked once. If the cocoon lands, you're dead. I think the only one that will be able to last a little bit longer will be XX here, but this is a really tough game, and just take a look at the damage that right now JakeyLove is hitting with his poke.
Yeah, that was just one Mystic shot, and we've seen this multiple times where LokeN actually needs to base just because of the Ezreal poke.
You see now, 369 trying to dissuade TheShy from the top side. You can see Leyan now finally jumping into this mid lane. They will crack open this mid inhibitor turret at the same time as the top inhibitor turret. Now the 2 inhibitors are under fire. Don't think Top Esports really have a chance to kind of defend both, but they will try and defend the top.
You can feel that Top Esports are gathering themselves. They know that this is the one fight, their one chance to get back into it. And IG...
Here we go. There's the Glacial Prison going to come down onto Leyan. They get the Glacial Fissure as well, but Leyan is fearless. Leyan's trying to jump straight back in as the Rakan has been taken down. They will kill the Elise, but the Kaiser is down. And now TheShy can wreak havoc with Rookie. They will be able to take the Game 3, go 2-1 up in the series, and IG, after they do a bit of fountain farming, will eventually be able to put themselves one game away from the World Championships in Europe.
And this was a slaughter. Much different than the last 2 games. Invictus Gaming played this one out well, played this one out patiently. I would expect Leyan to be an MVP with this performance.
This is what I wanted to see out of IG in this matchup. Heavy focus your top lane, put 369 under pressure, break him through that, and I have to say, like you were mentioning, Leyan, great performance. He's only played the Elise twice before this game, and we really didn't peg him as an Elise player. So to know that he has those tools is going to be a massive boon going into the series.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times people will see this player and will naturally think about what his role is and will try and peg him as just a facilitating player. I don't think of him as a B player. I think he does have great potential that puts him on that same level as Ning. This time around, you could really see the confidence playing around Rookie and TheShy. TheShy had a monster lead just based off the early picks and plays from Leyan, and so that was a great work from Invictus Gaming to be able to close it with that lead.
And this Qiyana just really reminds me of the way Dornby's playing it. The 2 roams that he actually got were pure I'm not going to touch the wave roams. Those are incredibly difficult to actually predict because he's willing to give up CS and experience just to make his side lane stronger.
And I think as well, That's the IG that we remember. That is the suffocating, the constant winning of all lanes. There was just no real way for Top Esports to come back into it. And for the first game in this series, it was convincing from the team that won it.
Yeah, it was, for me, a big jungle difference, where a lot of the times a team will see this, and I think Top has actually played this side very well, where they see 3 losing lanes and essentially a losing jungle matchup for those instances, that they know that the jungle just has to play it slowly, look to farm, and find opportunities. In this case, XX actually played incredibly aggressive, overly aggressive in those instances. The fact that he died when Dragon was being taken, mid lane is roamed towards you, bot lane's roamed towards you, it makes no sense for him to be pushing out so aggressively. I think this was a bad game from XX, but as a whole, the confidence and the discipline from Invictus Gaming with the lead that they have is actually really convincing and makes that momentum heavily in their favor going to the next game.
I'll be honest, I think the key is to keep TheShy ahead. TheShy, when he has 2 kills in his pockets or an assist on his pockets, and TheShy going 0-2 to start the game off, I think are completely different people, and this is what I want to see from IG. I call the matchup should be more heavily focused towards the top side. I think bot side's going to be completely fine. This is what they're going to go with the remainder of the series.
I think as well the Qiyana should not make it through pick and ban the next time. I think if you're going to give a rookie who, up until this series, had been underperforming to what we expect, he looks very comfortable, he looks very practiced on this champion, and it looks like he's kind of building his own confidence from playing this champ.
Yeah, there were moments where Top was about to win a fight, Qiyana comes in on the flank, cleans them up. It's just hard to track the champion, it's hard to catch the champion. Rookie has been able to do so well with it. There's a reason why it was banned, so I would agree with that. I would 100%. What are you thinking?
Yeah, just take it out. Like, getting her on a 3-0 start is probably the most devastating champion to get that. You see her build, it's Youmu's and plus mobility boots. So the amount of movement speed, it's 40 out of combat. Moby brings another, it's like close to 100 movement speed out of combat. And she picks up the River Elemental. Her roam potential is just way too high. She's, I think, the single most threatening champion when she is ahead.
And I think as well for Top, they've got to find a solution. For the first 2 games, there was answers from both sides. That game, they had no answers. They thought it might have been the Karma. The Karma got shut down very, very early. They've got to find a new answer. I want them to make it a Game 5, purely because the series has been so close. It would be a bit of a disservice to them to say it would go 3-1 to IG. But right now, it just looks like IG is just going from strength to strength.
Yeah, I just want to see, I think for them, for Top, they're going to be trying to focus a lot more, as per usual, on the early game, knowing that they can get more priority, because a lot of this game was Elise just took Sejuani completely out. So XX will look at that, the most vocal member on the team, wants a much better situation, so I think that's going to be the primary focus in the draft. I don't think there's going to be another Sejuani.
We will have to wait and see. We're going to throw it to a break, but when we return, we'll have the potential last game of this final for the last seed at Worlds. We will see you guys very soon.